and welcome to another episode of Ask an Author. Today we have a very special guest with us, Tina Marie Clark. Welcome.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm so happy to be here and to join everybody.
I'm so excited because I've just realised that you do so much for everyone else, but we don't actually know a lot about you as an author. So the kids have sent in a whole heap of questions. This is my special question book here. And we would really like to find out a little bit about you and how you come up with your ideas. Would that be okay?
That would be awesome. And I love your pink bee. She's beautiful.
My pink bee. Awesome. Okay, so the first question comes from Hemi, and he wants to know, when you were a kid, did you read very much?
Oh, actually, I'm dyslexic and I didn't read as a kid. I was already about 15 before I started reading properly myself. Yeah, and because I was in boarding school all those years, it was very easy to be able to disguise it and to get somebody else to help me to do my homework and switch with my very good friends. And I was very good at maths, because maths, even though I do eights as threes and threes as eights and sixes as nines, if you double check, you can normally find stuff like that. So I was able to actually slide through and until I was about 14, and then I found novels. I found romance novels, which were very basic, and I started reading, and I haven't looked back. I caught up very fast when I did start reading.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Oh, and with that, because you came to it very late, Hugo asks, do you have a favourite book?
I actually do have a favorite book. So my favorite book would be from my childhood, because my mum and dad actually read it to me when I was a kid, and it's Jock of the Bushveld. So, and it's probably very different for kids in Australia. Sort of like Red Dog, but with an South African twist, an African twist where, he fought off baboons and he sort of like looked after the wagon trail and stories like that. So very much, we also have a famous dog in Africa who I just thought was beautiful.
Wow, that's amazing. And Grace wants to know, you've had such a diverse kind of upbringing and we're finding all these things about your childhood. Where do you get your ideas from?
Oh, okay. So apparently, even when I was a kid, I told tall tales. So now the difference is I just tell them in books.
Yes. It's not a tall tale if it's written down.
If it's written down, no. So a lot of stuff I get from real life, and a lot of stuff it's inspirational, and I just get, like, I look at a picture or I see a piece of, like, a one line in a magazine or in a newspaper, and everything just flows together, and my mind just puts together a little bit of A, a little bit of B, a little bit of C, and comes up with a story. So I think I'm just very lucky that I've got a soul of a storyteller, because it doesn't matter, as long as you've got the soul of a storyteller, everything else can be fixed, just like my bad English and my bad spelling, that can be fixed.
So sometimes having an overactive imagination can be a good thing.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's amazing. Now, Maddie's got a question here for you. What are you scared of?
Snakes.
Really?
I am very, very terrified. So terrified that if I go near a snake, I actually start shaking. And because I grew up with very big snakes. Where I grew up in Zimbabwe, we used to have these snakes called Egyptian cobras. So when they raise up and they put their hood out, they were kind of tall, they're kind of big.
Yeah.
A snake can be over 6 foot tall. My dad was 6 foot, and he could hold his hand up, with the snake, like up in the air. And the snakes were longer, and so the snakes where I grew up were huge, and I was very, very, very afraid of them. And I've had a couple of encounters when I was a kid with them, and I am terrified of snakes.
And then coming to Australia, where snakes are pretty deadly, that's probably not a great transition.
Well, I think I'll trade I don't mind your snakes so much. Your red belly black, they run away from you. So
Yes.
that's a good snake,
And they're not 6 foot tall.
No, I don't mind snakes that every animal belongs in the ecosystem somewhere. So I don't want every snake dead. I just don't want them near me. So now in my home, I live on an island within an island, so that hopefully we have as few snakes as possible. And in 20 years, we've only had 2 snakes visit. Oh. So that's pretty good. One was a python, which is just that's understandable, and it was taken away by the snake catcher. And the other one was a red belly black that just, once I took its food source away, which was a little frog pond, it just disappeared. So that's good. It can stay gone.
Oh my gosh, yes. We love having nature in our backyard, but not that kind of nature. Yes. Here we go. Josh has got a question for you. Do you have a favourite sport?
I do. I love hockey. So I used to play hockey. Yes.
Oh my gosh, so did I. I played hockey in high school.
I used to do all sorts of sports. I used to do gymnastics, and I used to do tennis. I'm not that good at tennis. I'm better at squash. I'm useless at swimming. I can keep my head above water, but there was always girls who were faster than me. But hockey, I just loved hockey. Just it was easy. It came easy to me. So I used to play for our province in South Africa, and then when I got to Australia, I did play here, and then I hung up my boots a few years ago, and but I do still love the sport. I think it's still awesome.
I do too, and I was so bad at it, but I just had so much fun playing. It's a really fun team sport.
It is. And I think you've hit the nail on the head there. It's a team sport, and I think that's what I enjoyed so much: the comradeship of the ladies all playing together, and when I was playing at a higher level, it was we used to have like men and women in the same team, and we used to all play, and it was really fun, and it was really great. So obviously, my husband didn't like me playing it because I got bruises and came home with sore things, and
Yes, I remember the bruises. Yes. Max has got a really fun question here. Can you sing?
Very badly, Max. Very badly. I do sing.
If you could sing well, you just ask, can you sing?
I can sing, but I do sing very badly. My boys both go, "Mom, keep quiet." But I do sing. If I need to, yes, I do sing.
Yeah, that's good. You can sing, but just not professionally.
Not professionally. I will never be a professional singer.
We'll stick to professional writing then.
I think that's a good choice for me. I really do.
Lucy wants to know, what did you want to be when you grew up?
So when I was little, I really wanted to be a vet. I thought that vets were the most amazing people, and they saved so many animals. And I even used to experiment when I was about 10, 11, and I would catch a frog and, try and do different things on the frog and sew them back up and throw them back in the pond. And
I think that's called a mad scientist. I'm not sure if that's called a vet.
I think now looking back, yes, very much of somebody who had a beautiful childhood and just left to do things. But, I was very, very conscious of the fact that I wanted everything to live. Unfortunately, in South Africa, because I went from Zimbabwe to South Africa, and in South Africa, the vet schools are all done in Afrikaans. And, well, there's only one vet school, and that's Onderstepoort University. And I could not speak Afrikaans. I could get through for my final year, but it was no way I was ever going to be able to do it at university. So that dream kind of just went by the wayside, and it didn't happen.
Yeah. Do you think that's why you love writing about animals?
It might be. I totally love animals. I've always loved animals. Animals have always been very much part of my life. And I would, maybe. Yeah. You've got a point there.
So what do you think is the most important part of what you do?
So I would say the most important part of what I do is to put my bum down in my chair and write my stories so that people can actually have access to what my stories are. I think that's the most important thing.
You
Just
are the
getting
only
it written.
sharing what's in your head. And do you believe that books can change the world?
Absolutely, absolutely. I did a trip into Papua New Guinea I go every year, but a few years ago we did it, and it was how books can change the world. And I explained that as a child, you know, if I had done something bad, and you know, I would have been dealt with at that stage like something really bad, and then, you know, and the person who I would have hurt, you know, it would have only hurt that one person, and only I would have learned my lesson. But as an author now, if I want my character to do something bad, every single person who reads that book will learn that lesson and will feel what I felt at that stage. So it's like it will definitely change whoever reads the book will have their attitude changed, or they will feel a little bit of what that person, you know, that protagonist felt at that stage. So definitely I do believe that books can change the world.
I love that explanation. I've never heard anybody explain it like that before, but it's absolutely right. And I never even thought about it until then. That's such great advice. And speaking of advice, what would your advice be for the kids watching who think that they might like to be an author when they grow up?
I would say just sit in your chair and write your story. It doesn't matter who reads it now, and it doesn't matter who reads it in the future. Just write your story, because only you can tell your story.
So true, so true. And if we've got kids watching who have thought of another question that they would like to ask you, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
If they send me an email to Tina, which is TINA at TM for mum, Clark, CLARK.com.au.
Awesome.
They're welcome to email me.
Great. Well, I might actually put that email address in the description, so that'll make it really easy for the kids, because they might want to talk a little bit more about what it's like to be dyslexic or growing up in Africa, or even just talk to you a little bit more about the amazing books that you've written, and you'll be happy to answer their questions.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you.
That is so exciting, so exciting. Thank you so much, Tina, for taking the time to answer the kids' questions today. I think you've really opened our mind to the possibility of you don't have to be the best writer, and you don't necessarily have to have everything figured out before you put your bum in that seat and start writing. So thank you.
Absolutely.
For that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and if you'd like to say thank you to Tina, make sure you hit that like button. And if you would like to hear more stories of authors like Tina, please hit that subscribe button and join us on another episode of Ask an Author. Bye.